Coming up on this episode of Latinas, we'll celebrate our moms, talk climate change, get mental health tips, and so much more. Latinas starts now. Welcome to Latinas, the only Emmy-nominated show that's all about nosotras, created by nosotras, and I'm Tinabeth Piña. Today, I'm celebrating spring right here in Bryant Park, where the flowers are starting to bloom, people are outdoors, and some are even getting in a game of ping pong. The sport got a huge boost this past year with the Oscar-nominated film Marty Supreme. But for Dominicana Yasiris Ortiz, table tennis has never needed the spotlight. In fact, she built her life around it. Correspondent Isabel Ortiz profiles this Latina on the rise.
Backhand, forehand.
I saw like the entire table tennis community here in New York talking about that movie. And I was like, what, a movie? And I'm like, this is huge. So I got a call from them. They were like recruiting professional players to be part of the movie. It was exciting to me because it was like supporting the sport that we all love and just making sure that more people is aware that table tennis is an Olympic sport, that it exists, and just creating more awareness.
Table tennis is a game of split-second decisions. For Yasiris Ortiz, those decisions led to the international stage, representing the Dominican Republic with every serve.
I am representing my country, my flag, my people, plus the pressure that you have that you want to win and you want to do like a good performance in the events and also bring medals for sure. I'm always ready and positive to bring the best to my country.
Her biggest transition didn't happen on the court. It happened when she moved to New York. In an unfamiliar place, table tennis gave her community.
You moved to New York when you were a teenager, when you were 18. How did table tennis kind of ease that transition?
Table tennis gave me everything when I came here because that was the only thing that I knew how to do. And for me, I was like, I don't know a word of English. So I will say like that safe space, I found it through table tennis. And meeting like Dominican fellows, Latinos in that space helped me trust and believe like, wow, I can continue playing.
Yasiris' journey in table tennis expanded beyond competition when she found her calling in coaching.
I learned a lot through teaching elementary school kids. Through that, I developed my passion for coaching, and then I started to prepare myself taking international certifications that helped me understand and learn more about coaching, athletes in the sport.
One student at a time, Yasiris built something bigger, founding Spin and Learn, a program that now coaches students in table tennis across New York City.
It was just me on one table and a bunch of kids. All students and the entire school community wanted to play. And I saw the impact and the positive benefits that the program was doing to the students. So one of my favorite parts is that table tennis is for everyone, no matter your background, no matter your physical abilities. So we work with students with special needs, which is a really way to maintain and keep the kids active.
Yasiris doesn't just talk about coaching, she shows it. Walking me through the basics.
One thing to keep in mind is that the ball is gonna come back to you. So it's important
that's
to...
That's the scary part.
Okay, so you ready?
I think so.
Okay, let's go.
Clearly, I'm still a novice, but Yasiris is a very patient coach. From representing the Dominican Republic to building community in New York, Yasiris Ortiz proves the impact of table tennis goes far beyond the final point. For Latinas, I'm Isabel Ortiz.
Latinas are also playing an increasingly important role in New York's beauty industry. From hairstylists to salon owners, many are building businesses while creating opportunities within their communities. Correspondent Anny Ruiz Huayamambe has that story.
Inside salons across New York City, beauty is more than style. It's a doorway to opportunity, independence, and new beginnings. For this salon owner, that journey began in 2011. She arrived from the Dominican Republic, and by the very next day, she was already working. When the pandemic hit, she didn't stop. She adapted working from home, refusing to give up. Later, while searching for stability, an unexpected opportunity appeared.
Entonces ella dijo, el día que se vaya a vender, si va a salir de esto, yo quiero que sea usted que se quede con el negocio, porque es una persona muy responsable y veo que le gusta el trabajo.
That moment changed everything. She didn't just keep working. She became the owner of this salon in the Bronx.
¿Qué significa para usted siendo latina y dueña de un salón de belleza aquí en Nueva York?
Wow. Bueno, yo no sé ni cómo explicártelo, pero sí me siento muy bien por el apoyo que me han dado los demás, por todo el apoyo que me dan mis clientes. Cuando llegan, que dicen, oh, vuelvo, que se van y dicen, te voy a mandar una persona. Yo me siento muy bien con eso, porque me trataste bien, el servicio fue uno más.
More than 23,000 people work in the New York's beauty industry. Nationwide, nearly 90% are women and almost 1 in 5 is Latina.
Si usted se sabe bien administrar y sabe bien trabajar, esto es una carrera de mucho dinero y la belleza es lo máximo.
Nunca para. O sea,
Nunca para, la belleza nunca para, porque siempre queremos estar bellas.
But turning passion into a business isn't easy. It takes risks.
We help them how to get the licenses, because in our country, only the people that have the title or diploma. So in here, no matter what, they have to have license to operate the business. The Chamber of Commerce, we offer a lot of seminars, workshops. In that way, they can put activity in the new technology, and they can grow, because as soon as they open the business, the Chamber of Commerce, we support them.
For many immigrant women, salons are more than workplaces. It's the first step towards economic independence.
It's about networking, so knowing about your community. So this is what we want to embed in our Latino community, that you have the possibility to have that American dream. Just understand the knowledge and understand what is it, benefit for you, and then you could go on from there.
Us Latina, I think we were born with it. And, the moment we wake up, we have grandma combing our hair, doing our rolos. It's part of our culture. It's nothing like we have to learn. We are ready with our grandmas and sisters and aunts show us this. And our Latina is like, we love to embrace beauty.
For Latinas, I'm Anny Ruiz Huayamambe.
When we talk about climate change, we don't always hear about the women on the front lines, but Latinas are out there leading the charge, turning community power into real change. Producer Andrea Ortega-Williams is about to introduce us to some of those very women.
I feel like I am literally putting myself on the line to make sure that 7 generations yet unborn has a place where they can live, where they could thrive, where they could have the kind of lives that they deserve.
For Elizabeth Yeampierre, Executive Director of UPROSE, climate justice is personal.
We are an intergenerational organization that is led by the front line, by people of color, the ones most likely to be impacted by climate change. My family's been in Sunset Park since 1980, and we live here. I came into this work literally because people in the community, they were concerned about a lot of the health disparities that are connected to the environmental conditions that exist in this community, and conditions that I live with, that my family lives with, because I was born and raised in an environmental justice community. Because our campaigns come from the community, we literally feel like we staff the community. We didn't say we're gonna do this. We were asked, can you help us with this? And then here, what we do is we do the research, we collect the data, we figure out what the land use plan is, and then we share that with the community.
At the Point CDC in the Bronx, Dariella Rodriguez, Director of Community Development, and Leslie Vasquez, Environmental Justice Community Organizer, are moved by the same concerns.
Hunts Point is a part of the South Bronx, and the South Bronx is encircled by 3 major highways. We have 4 power plants. We have tons of warehouses in an industrial zone. With all of the trucks that those industries bring in, we have poor air quality. And so Hunts Point and many areas in the South Bronx are considered asthma alley because, again, we have one of the highest asthma rates in the entire country, and 1 in 4 children have asthma.
One of our environmental justice campaigns is the Last Mile campaign. We are a coalition of multiple organizations that are all in neighborhoods very similar to Hunts Point, including Brooklyn and Newtown Creek, that have a lot of industrial warehouses. Their actual warehouse is not necessarily what's polluting the air, but if your building requires 10,000 truck trips a day to come in and out to deliver and to pick up goods, then we're saying that's an indirect source of pollution. We're trying to get legislation to include something called the indirect source rule that's actually in City Council right now.
Like the activistas at the Point, Elizabeth and Uprose have made significant strides in Sunset Park, improving local health and well-being.
We've doubled the amount of open space. We've stopped the siting of power plants. We have pushed back against development that would have displaced our community, and we've done that successfully.
People are the power behind these Latinas and their organizations, with an eye on the future of climate leadership.
We want to be able to build and do in a way that is meaningfully intergenerational. And we don't use the word pipeline here, we use vine. It's a vine of leadership. Everything is going to be impacted by climate disruption. So getting them involved early on is important, it's necessary.
The point of our work is to take someone from believing that they can do something about it to being that person that says what we can do.
Community is the one that mobilizes the work that we do.
And how we define resiliency in our community lens is our ability to thrive. Not just one person surviving or one person being able to have what they need, but all of us collectively being able to do that.
For Latinas, I'm Andrea Ortega Williams.
This month, we honor our moms, and today, 3 Latinas are about to reminisce about their motherhood journeys in today's edition of Real Talk Sin Filtro.
I was 25 when I had my daughter, and like for me, being a mom was so important. This idea that you have this little human being that's in your hands, right? And I remember just being so worried, you know, I had to work many jobs to sustain as a single mother at the time. And there were times where I felt so guilty because I had dropped them off at mommy's house. I would tell my younger self like that the quality time was worth every second.
Invested.
And it wasn't quantity, it was quality. Because when I was with my kids, I was with my kids. So.
I think that's the best that we can do, spend the most we can with our kids. When I was in my 20s, I began being a mother, and I'm thankful for that because the energy that you need to chase around your kids and do things with them, I would not be able to do it like in my 30s or 40s. So I'm thankful that I had them in my 20s, and after them too, I closed my factory right after. I told my husband, I don't care if it's a boy or girl, the second one, whatever it is, the factory is closed, and that's it. And I went through with it, and I don't regret any second of it.
So my story is a little bit different than all of you. I became a mom at 33. And in fact, although I always dreamed of being a mom, I didn't think I could have children, and I had put that aside. I kind of had accepted it and moved full speed into career. And so when I got pregnant with my first child, she was unplanned, not unwanted, very much
I love it.
Reflecting now, 30s was the right time for me. I don't think I would have been emotionally prepared. And part of it is because we think of motherhood in just the joyous occasions, right? And now that I'm knee deep into the teenager phase, I think we really need to kind of also be honest and talk about the challenges of parenting, right? At different phases. Nobody really gave me the full playbook. And I will tell you, and I've read the parenting books and I watched all the TV shows. Ooh, it is quite a job. Absolutely worth it. And I say it's gotta be the hardest job tenfold from whatever career challenges that you face.
When you think that they're not paying attention, they are. And it's like sometimes, you know, what you're modeling, and that says much more sometimes than what you actually say to your kids.
My kids were always open to tell me whatever went in their lives, everything about it. Everything you can think of, I knew about them because I gave them that. And I always told them, tell me the truth. That I will be listening and backing you up no matter what. For me, my kids, what surprised me about them is that they still come to me. At the end of the day, they call me or they come see me, and they are the best part of me, but even evolutionized even better. So, you know, that's my pride.
I'm seeing now the fruits of my labor with my oldest child who's about to be 20. And we're having this beautiful transition where she's, you know, fully into her womanhood, right? She's Afro-Latina, she's in college, she's doing her thing with her career. And now we talk as friends and she's telling me, Mommy, now I know why you said certain things that you did. So sometimes life lessons, they don't get it right away.
No.
They might come back and tell you, thank you for teaching me maybe 10, 15 years later. So, you know, don't give up. You know, you have to keep going, stick to your guns and how you want to raise your family because your best work are your children. And that's the legacy that you're going to leave behind.
That's right.
I wanted to write this book about growing up in the Bronx because I think when you say you're from the Bronx, people make up the stories in their mind. But for me, it was a lovely childhood. I guess we were too young to appreciate, how special it was. But as I reflected, in the writing of it, I realized that my grandfather was also a visionary. He said, there's two things you need in this city. You need shelter and you need a job. And for the employment, he bought bodegas, and all the men worked in the bodegas. And so he's like, I got you, you got a place to live, you have a place to work, the rest is up to you.
May is also Mental Health Awareness Month, and therapist Doris Benitez is about to give us some tips on how to navigate anxiety.
Como terapeuta, algunos de los consejos que podemos darle a las personas, principalmente para manejar la ansiedad, el miedo, primeramente es que vamos a validar esa experiencia. La otra parte es que es importante que recuerden sus fortalezas internas. Es importante a veces escribir sus propias experiencias, porque eso pues también los hace recordar esos momentos donde se vieron en situaciones difíciles y lograron superarlos, y esto pues va a ser otra parte de ese proceso. Otra estrategia es ejercicios de respiración profunda a través de la nariz, inhalar por la nariz 4 segundos, sentir como el aire llena tus pulmones y exhalar por la boca despacio y sentir como tu cuerpo empieza a relajarse, a calmarse. Otra actividad que podemos hacer es de atención plena, mindfulness, que es bastante importante, y estrategias de enraizamiento, grounding techniques, que son principalmente decir, por ejemplo, usando todos los sentidos, nombrar 5 cosas que puedo ver a mi alrededor, nombrar 4 cosas que puedo tocar, nombrar 3 cosas que puedo escuchar, 2 cosas que puedo oler en mi ambiente y 1 cosa que puedo disfrutar. Otra actividad es poder escanear tu cuerpo para encontrar a veces, estar más conectado y dónde siento estrés a veces. Pues hacerlo como imaginarse, como que es una bola anaranjada y vamos a agarrarla así, de donde esté, donde sea que la siento, y enviarla en el universo, en el espacio, y ver cómo sale de tu cuerpo, cómo sale todas esas tensiones, ese estrés, esa presión. Pienso que esas son actividades que te pueden ayudar a las personas para manejar la ansiedad, con la firme convicción de que el cambio es posible, porque yo lo he vivido.
For Ecuadorian Ariel Barrera, art and anthropology go hand in hand. And when she decided to pursue a PhD, her studies beautifully combined all of her favorite things.
We are in the Hall of Human Origins, and this played a major role in making me decide that I wanted to be a paleoanthropologist. In middle school, I came across the show Bones about a forensic anthropologist that helped solve criminal cases through skeletal analysis. My older sister brought my younger brother and I to a night at the museum event that the museum hosted, and I came to see this specific hall and then like the dinosaur halls. I was just sold on being a paleontologist of some sort, to be able to go to remote places around the world to excavate for fossils and to learn about how species change through time and why those processes happen and how they happen. So coming to work here has been a very special full circle moment. I did my master's at NYU in human skeletal biology. I took a dental anthropology class where I became interested in teeth. And Chris Robinson, my advisor now, was doing an internship and needed someone to help him on a project on mandibles and teeth. I worked with him, and he is at the CUNY Graduate Center, so it was a natural kind of flow to apply to continue working with him. The CUNY Graduate Center is where all of us take our first year classes and where we originally meet. But once we are done with that, each student goes to their advisor's location. So if your advisor is in Queens College, then you have an office there and then you teach at Queens College. My advisor, Ashley Hammonds, is here at the museum. So I have an office here, and this is where I do my research. I study the form of teeth and how form changes across species and throughout time. Geometric morphometrics is a type of shape analysis that uses landmarks to capture form, as opposed to using linear measurements like length and width. Once we have that shape and have that data, then we can see what is causing those changes. So is it developmental processes or is it dietary adaptation specifically when it comes to teeth? I do field work every summer. This summer, I'm going to Spain to a site called Creu de Conill, which is late Miocene in age. So there, what we're excavating and what we're finding mostly are equids, carnivores, artiodactyls. But the hope is for us, who are specifically paleoanthropologists, are to find a primate that belongs to that time period, because that's the time in the fossil record that's very spotty and we have almost no fossils for, and they're very incomplete. So finding one from then would really help us piece together the evolution of that time frame. Despite the CUNY Graduate Center not being a campus school, the anthropology program has a consortium called NICEP, which is the New York Consortium of Evolutionary Primatology, which involves schools across CUNY, NYU, Columbia, and the Graduate Center. Students from all across those institutions are able to take classes in any of those schools, and we have seminars that happen bi-weekly where we get to meet each other and hear about everyone's research. We get to interact with professors and other students that we wouldn't have otherwise met. So we're not just a cohort of 4 people, we're a much broader community. I was always encouraged to pursue whatever I wanted to do, but there was always that doubt of the feasibility and like the resources to be able to pursue a career that seemed unreachable, or maybe I wouldn't have guidance for. But there are mentors who want to help you, and it's obviously possible.
Bryant Park has plenty for you to do this spring, and we have its events manager, Kelly Collins, on hand to tell us more about what exactly is coming up.
We have so much coming up this summer. We're so excited to have all of our amazing marquee programs back. We kick off at the end of May with two of my favorites, picnic performances presented by Bank of America, which is our music theater and dance series, Bryant Park Yoga presented by Halara, where you can do yoga right here on the Bryant Park lawn on Wednesday evenings, and then on our upper terrace Tuesday mornings. And then of course, everyone's favorite Bryant Park movie nights, Paramount Plus movie nights at Bryant Park. We're very excited to have that back too.
That's awesome. And you have Fleet Week coming up too?
Yes, we have a couple things coming down the pipeline for America's 250th, so we're looking forward to sharing that with everybody soon.
So there's something for everybody, whether it's the carousel, whether it's ping pong.
Yeah, we've got across the whole park, we have a lot of different areas you can explore. We've got our games area right behind you, which is where you can play chess, you can get board games to play with your family, the iconic carousel right across the lawn, and then these yellow umbrellas houses the reading room, where you can go and you can pick up a book on one of the carts and read at your own pace.
Kelly, why is it so important to have a place like Bryant Park in the middle of the city?
You know, it's a really busy place to live. It can be a really stressful place to live. And I know for me, being somebody who works here and is here every day, I find great comfort knowing that I can come to a place that is clean and comfortable and safe, but also active and fun. I can bring my friends here, I can bring my family here, and I can see a great show.
Yeah. I think what's cool too is everything is free.
Everything is free and open to the public. That's, part of our mission is to activate public spaces, because an active public space is a safe public space. So we want to make sure everybody who comes here feels welcome and safe and can have a good time.
That's our show for today. For more information on what you just saw, check out our website at tv.cuny.edu. Follow us on social or download the CUNY TV app and watch LATiNAS 24/7. And definitely make sure you tune in next month, where we'll celebrate Pride and so much more. ¡Uepa! Hasta la próxima. Bye-bye.
If you like what you just saw, and to support your favorite programming here at CUNY TV, please consider donating at tv.cuny.edu/donate.